What is going on? Welcome to a little home video on Mortal Man and the lyrics, what the song means to me, a little bit of that. The inspiration behind the song kind of happened at a time when I was going through this really tough situation with a good friend of mine who had struggled for a long time with addiction, and who happened after a series of events and being in and out of rehab for many years, relapsed at my house after being clean for more than a year and a half, I think. And it was quite a tragic and difficult experience for me to be a part of so closely. And I think it triggered like a lot of my own stuff, and it kind of forced me to look at a number of my own addictions, or kind of just ways of being, and my own suffering. And I spent, it was just difficult because I was very close to this person, and I was very involved in my own ways, in not in their recovery, but in just trying to be there for them during this time. And so I think, I wrote this song in response to what I was seeing out there around, not just in my kind of social circles, but in the world, where it just became apparent that people everywhere are struggling, no matter who you are, from all levels. Like when it comes to how we deal with the existential funk of being alive, there's just a certain amount of suffering we're all going to have to deal with. And so there are a couple of key lines in this song that connect with me a lot. For instance, count on me when you're falling down. Just stop giving what you can't give now. I hear you calling. I like that line. Just count on me when you're falling down. Just stop giving what you can't give now. I hear you calling. Something about that, like I made this mistake in my career, like just burning myself out multiple times. Like my 20s were all about that, just like moving at the speed of light, and never knowing when those points were coming that I needed to step back and protect my own energy, and so that I could continue to do what I loved and put out meaningful value into the world. And that was something I had to learn the hard way. You know, I had multiple burnouts on the way to eventually, probably sometime around the time I was releasing the second album, I felt like I just got over this hurdle where as soon as I started feeling that that I needed some time, I would just take it. It is, If you make it with your hands, you will better understand. Keep your feet out to the calling. And if we take a stand and sever all our plans, she said. It's this idea that make it with your hands and you'll better understand. It's kind of like, that's like a direct recommendation the song is making, that I've found super useful. And I think probably whatever you do, I think it's for sure super useful. And that's just that disconnecting from technology, disconnecting from all the things that keep us connected and busy in this kind of like hive mind mentality. I think you can step back from that and you can create with whatever you do. You don't have to be a creative or an artist to make things with your hands. So for me, maybe if I'm feeling some kind of way, I'll remove myself and just sit with my guitar and try and write something brand new. So making something from nothing, or planting, working in the garden. But I mean, if it's cooking, if it's painting, or woodwork, or anything where you can start with nothing and end with something, I think is somehow innately like tapped into our kind of primal origins, where I've found it to be really cathartic, and just helps remind me what's important, and who I am. And it's amazing how quickly I can reduce suffering by making with my hands. In a nutshell, Mortal Man is a song for everyone to take what they will from it. But for me, it's a song about acceptance. It's a song about learning how to let go of the difficulty and remember that we are we are constrained in some senses by our mortality and what it means to be human. I think never has that felt more clear right now in the midst of this like global pandemic where everyone has been confronted with their mortality right up close. Like, who are you and what are you if you aren't what you thought you were, or if your career doesn't exist after this? And yeah, so reckoning with that question and finding acceptance and grace towards oneself, so that one can move beyond that suffering and just live an easier life, existentially speaking. Thanks again for listening to the song and embracing it the way you have. And if it continues to resonate with you, let it get out there. Share it with people that you think it might help. And yeah, lots of love to you all.